I wanted to talk today about intrusive thoughts. I don't know if you've ever experienced these, but when I was a new mom, so postpartum with my son, I had really intense postpartum anxiety, but I had no idea that that's what it was. It wasn't really something that was being talked a lot about 8 years ago. With my son, like I knew about postpartum depression, but I wasn't depressed. I was really anxious. I had this belief inside of me that if I didn't watch him every second of every moment, that he would stop breathing, that he would just die. And I didn't know that that wasn't normal. I didn't know that it wasn't normal to feel like if anybody but you holds your baby, they will drop them down the stairs or they will obviously harm them in some way accidentally. It felt to me like it had to only be me. And it wasn't until I was past the postpartum anxiety that I was able to look back and see what it was that was going on. And so since then, I have struggled off and on with intrusive thoughts in relation to my children. It took me a really long time to get pregnant with my kids, 12 years with my son, many rounds of IVF. And then with my daughter, it was another 3 years and more IVF. So there was already a big fear inside of me of things going wrong or them not being safe. So it took a lot of work on my part to get to the point that I could trust them to be out of my own circle and sphere of influence so they could be with other trusted adults and babysitters and that kind of thing. So we have some wonderful people now that take care of my kids occasionally. They're so great. And this morning, though, I brought my daughter, she's only 3 years old, to the park to meet her babysitter, and then I walked back on my own. The traffic has been really crazy here in our town lately because of school starting up. And we have this one crosswalk in our town that people have close calls there all the time. It's just for some reason the drivers don't see the pedestrians. And as I was coming up to this, I had these intrusive thoughts around my daughter's safety. So I sent my babysitter a message because I knew I'm like, okay, I recognize that this is an intrusive thought, but let's see what I can do for my brain here. So I sent my babysitter a message and just said, I know you know how to cross the street. You're awesome. And I just wanted to let you know that, traffic has been really crazy here since school has started. So when you're crossing this one specific road, just really make sure the traffic has stopped. And she was super gracious and responded back like, thanks for the heads up. So then I know that my daughter's safe. I know that my babysitter is aware, but yet still I was having these fears and what I know is intrusive thoughts. And I could feel that anxiety in my gut, like right in my stomach. So I was like, okay, brain, you have addressed the situation. You have spoken to the people that need to be spoken to. You know that she is going to be safe. Now these intrusive thoughts are not true. So I put my hand on my gut right here, and that's where I could feel that anxiety brewing. And I used some self hypnosis. So as I was walking down the street with my hand on my belly, I could picture that feeling in my stomach, that anxiety, that tenseness. And for you, it might be somewhere else that you feel it. It might be your neck or your shoulders. For me today, the anxiety that I was feeling was in my gut. So I put my hand there. And then I imagined that feeling, which I know is anxiety. I imagined it coming together like a ball, or I could make that ball smaller. And then I imagined pushing it out into my hand. And once I could imagine all of that anxiety out in my hand, I pulled it out. And then what do I want to do with this? I threw it away. And then I put my hand back over my, gut here, and I just put peace back in. I imagined peace going back in there. So I find this really effective when working with intrusive thoughts. First of all, speaking to your brain about what you know is true, addressing everything that you can address, and then the rest is being able to just let that go from your body. I also was able to, imagine a bubble of protection around my daughter. That really helps with my mind too, just this bubble of protection. So I know she's safe and protected. I know she's well taken care of. And now these symptoms in my body are old leftover worries that I don't need to carry anymore. So that's what I did. And then I finished my walk home and I felt so much better. So if you struggle with intrusive thoughts, you might want to try this too, because I find it works so well and it's such a relief.